My name is Jana Thomas. I'm a senior at Maumelle High School and I will be graduating later on this May. I plan to attend Arkansas State University in Jonesboro for the next 4 years, and this is my story. My parents were separated at a young age, so when the divorce hit, it didn't hurt me as much as it did later on. And I guess it was because I really didn't understand, because whenever it hit and they went through it, nothing really changed for me. I still went through the same rules with the same familiar faces, and nothing really changed for me. My dad wasn't around when I was little, so I never really understood why he wasn't around, but me and my brother were never his first priority. Everything and anything was always more important than we were, and it was really hard growing up because I never got to take my dad to a father-daughter dance or cotillion or something like that, and I was never really embarrassed back then because I didn't understand completely why it was like that. But once I started getting older, I understood why, and it got more embarrassing. When I was little, when he didn't come around, the excuses that he fed us were more believable because we didn't know what else to believe. And now getting older, and when I moved here when I was 12, I started seeing more divorces and the cases that they were in, and they got to see their parents, or the one that they didn't live with, the majority of the time, almost every other weekend, and I knew that I didn't, but I never fully understood why. And I started picking pieces together, and I guess the puzzle finally just fit. And it was because my dad never made the effort to make the arrangements or anything, and that was really hard for me. After I started realizing what he had put me through and how actually all of it fitted together, I held a really long grudge for a long time, and I didn't talk to my dad for 3 years. And I did not give him any sympathy because I didn't see why I would need to. Within those 3 years, he made a lot of bad decisions that made a lot of heavy consequences on him, and the little forgiveness that I had left for him was instantly gone and destroyed. It was after 9th grade that I went to my second O&P, and it was located in Jonesboro, and that whole week, O&P is where you go for a whole week and you do mission work for people that can't afford it themselves, and you build wheelchair ramps and paint houses and do anything that they can't afford or can't do themselves. And at night you talk about, they send you messages, or they don't send you, you get preached messages. And throughout that whole week, it was talking about forgiveness and how if you don't let go of things, then it's just going to keep tearing you down. And I guess that's when I finally snapped. I had gotten really distant from God in those past 3 years because I didn't understand why he would put me in a situation that made me so weak. And I hated talking about it to other people, and I kept so much bottled up, and I just didn't understand why he would want to hurt me so bad. So I got really distant, and I didn't go to church for the right reasons, and I guess finally I snapped. And when I went there that week, I think I've never been closer to God. I prayed the hardest that I ever have, and I asked God to cleanse my heart from hatred and fear and trust issues and grudges and basically just being heartbroken. And instantly all the clutter was gone. Like even right after I prayed, it was easier to smile. It was easier to accept myself through what I've been through, and how even if people had hurt me, then I can move on and it's going to be okay. And I guess applied everything that was said that week to my life and how I needed to move on in order to be happier and be okay. And so whenever I got home that week, I texted my dad and told him that everything he had put me through the past 15 years, I forgave him, and that I wanted a fresh start. And that by far was and still is one of the hardest things I've ever done. But from that moment, my relationship with my Heavenly Father has grown insanely huge, and I felt like I've never been closer to God than I am right now. The OMP in Jonesboro was one of the biggest blessings in my life, and is one of the main reasons that I chose to go to Arkansas State in Jonesboro, because I get so much joy from being there, because I finally felt free again, and that I didn't have something so big under my belt that I could only keep to myself. Throughout this whole experience, I can wake up honestly and know that even if the wait is long and painful and terrifying, that after every storm there is a calm.